The Mental Health is a Lifestyle podcast is not a substitute for a relationship with a mental health professional. Hello, family, and welcome to another episode of The Mental Health is a Lifestyle podcast with your girl, Andrea Wise Brown. Oh, family, and before we get started, I need you to do what I need you to do. I need you to do this work, put in this work if you haven't done so already. So I need you to click this little bell so that you can subscribe to the podcast and get a notification every time there's a new podcast or episode that comes up. All right, family. So we got that out the way. So now, family, I want to introduce you to this amazing man. His name is Mr. Malcom Gatison. Hey,
Hey
Mike.
y'all. Hey. Thank you.
I'm like, okay, we got claps, family. We clapping for Malcolm. Claps, 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 claps. Okay. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, let me try to move this pillow. Okay, so Malcolm, this has been a long time coming, but I'm so excited that you are here with me today.
Yes, I'm excited too.
Okay, good, good, good. I'm glad because this is going to be a powerful interview, and the intention and my hope is that it helps other people,
Okay.
because other people, I know for sure, being in private practice, are going through the same thing that you're going through. And
Absolutely.
so today, family, we're going to talk about grief and grieving the loss of a loved one. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, yes,
So
yes.
so thank you so much for, coming on and sharing your story
Yeah.
with us.
I hope I help somebody. Okay, that's always the goal. So I'm ready.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, good, good, good. Okay, so here we go. Let me just set this up because I like to bring the family into where we are and why we're here. So I met you and I met Dr. Creative at the Sherry Shepherd Show.
Shout out to Sherry.
Shout out to Sherry. Okay, and after the Sherry Shepherd Show, we decided that we were going to do a podcast together. I asked you guys to do a podcast with me. So, both of y'all said yes, you do the podcast, but then all of a sudden you disappeared and I didn't see you anymore, right?
Hmm.
And so this is what's so interesting, family. So the story, right, that I was telling myself was you just was not into me. Not like that, but because I know you're not, but but like you just wasn't into it, right? Because I felt like you ghosted me, right?
Yes, yes.
And so then when we met up again, I'm gonna say because we would text each other a little bit, but when we met up again and we did that little end of year deal, you said to me, "No, you don't know what I've been going through. I was in a different place."
Yes.
Yeah, and I was like, wow. And I think, family, that is so powerful, and um like that's some awareness that I think we should all have. Is a lot of times we may make things about us when really it has nothing to do with us. Yeah. Yeah,
That's
because everybody's on their own journey, you know, in this thing called life. I call it a journey called life. And so, yeah, so you told me you were like in a totally different place, had nothing to do with the podcast, nothing to do with me. Yeah, so I was like, okay, I want to hear your
yes.
story. I'm so sorry. Oh, and I just have to say this. You have a podcast that's called My Black Self, correct?
That's right. So, okay, quick thing, right? So I was not nervous to do this up until last night. Last night, right? I'm at home. I'm like, oh, shoot, I gotta talk about this. All right. So I have a big sister. Her name is Kia. I tell people I have four sisters, three on earth, one in heaven.
God.
Quick background. 2008, me and my sister moved from Connecticut all the way to Atlanta. Right? So she told my aunt we were coming to visit, and I didn't know she lied to them. I knew we were going to live.
Okay.
So we disrupted a few things. Um so yeah, I say that's where my life began because that's where we got in the car and started a whole new life.
Wow.
Like we drove down there in a Sebring, a Chrysler Sebring, okay, with a drop top, and we smoked weed the whole way down.
Love it. I love
Back when
it.
I was smoking, at least. Um, so I like to bring that up because that's where me and her life really began as like brother and sister. Like I'm becoming an adult, she's teaching me things, and we are like this, okay? Because we're in a brand new place.
Love it.
And
Let me ask a question. Let me ask a question, Malcolm. So how
yeah,
old was she at that time and how old were you?
so I was 18, or I was turning 18. So hold on, 19, 20, 21, 22, 24.
Okay.
She's about 24, yeah. So and with my nephew, she has a son. So we all just went down there and started a brand new life. And we did a lot of things together. We used to write music together. We done been to the studio together. We got one little song out there. I'm gonna send it to you later.
Send the song. Send the songs. I could post it. Send the song.
So yeah, so that was our life. So
So y'all are on this ride into another dimension, right? Together.
yes,
So
yeah,
it's yeah, you, her, and her son.
yeah. And her best friend and her son. So it was a whole car full.
Okay. Okay. It sounds good. So y'all gonna try something new. Y'all gonna try life in a different place, geographically, and you're gonna kind of start over and start anew. So y'all were each other's support system, like leaned on each
Yes, absolutely.
other. And this was your older sister. So you really
Yes.
leaned on her.
Yep.
So tell me, what was the goal? So y'all get here. Where were y'all gonna work? Where were y'all gonna live? What did that look like?
I knew nothing. All I knew is I was gonna live with my aunt because I'm about to turn 18. Or I was already 18. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Um, I was in a relationship. I left my boyfriend and moved to Atlanta.
You left
So,
him.
but her goal was to just dive in to the music industry or whatever industry she could get her foot in. My sister is very creative. She could do anything, okay? If she wanted to do music, she could do music. If she wanted to slide over and start cooking, she could do that. She was I call my sister. She was brilliant. Like, I know at one point she came to me and said, let's start a YouTube channel. Let's start blogging. Like, she wanted to do everything that is so popular now. Like, she had these ideas to do them. And I was so young. I was like, I ain't got time for that. You know what I mean? I wish I would have done it, but I didn't. Um, but she had those ideas. So she just wanted to make herself seen and use her talents that she has. So that was her goal. And work, make money, take care of her son.
Right. Okay. And so you were just like, okay, I'm not doing anything else.
I
Yeah,
didn't
because
know
it was
what I was doing. I was like, I know I need to find a job though.
right.
So I ended up getting a job as a waiter.
So this was after y'all got to Atlanta.
Yeah, after we got to Atlanta, I got a job as a waiter working at This Is It. And then shortly after she got a job and she was working for Delta. Um so she was doing really well. Um And then she had someone, come into her life that was not too good for her. So he kind of made her lose some things that she had going well for her.
Wow.
And that was like her own battle that she was facing, dealing with somebody that really was not too good for her, and allowing this person to come in and out. But overall, our time in Atlanta was well. Shortly, I want to say 2010, My sister, well, when she was pregnant with my nephew, she got diagnosed with high blood pressure.
Okay.
Okay. We moved to Atlanta, starting over, no insurance, no this, no that. But she's young too, so she was like, "Man, I could go without my medicine. I'll be all right."
People do that. People do that. Lord have mercy. Go ahead.
Yes. She has a stroke and a seizure all at the same time. I'm next door, literally next door from the house, and my grandmother calls me, "Get over here, Kia's not responding." So I'm like, okay, what the hell is going on? So I run next door. Thank God it only took me about 10 seconds to get over there. She's out. I believe she was dead for a few moments. Um, so ambulance come, and that was the start of her chronic kidney disease. Okay.
Mm,
So I was like, what the hell is going on? She gotta change her diet. She gotta do this. She gotta do that. I swear I didn't use salt for anything in the house. Okay. She was so mad at me. Everything was bland.
yeah, yeah, because you was trying to help her.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So that happened, and I was like, well, I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna do with my life. All of a sudden, I see dialysis technician. I'm like, okay, let me learn about these kidneys to see what's going on.
Mm,
So I do that. And then shortly after, she has kidney failure, right? So she lives with kidney failure up until she passed away. So I think right then and there, her life just took like a turn. Like, I think, you know how people get diagnosed and they don't know how to come out of the diagnosis?
mm.
But
Tell me what that.
also,
Oh
what'd you
yeah,
say?
no. I said describe that. When you say that, what do you mean by that? They get diagnosed and don't come out of the diagnosis.
Like, why does this happen to me? And then dialysis, if people aren't familiar, you pretty much get a go hook up to a machine, get a fake kidney, and it has it filters your blood through it and cleans out all the toxins and then puts the blood back into your body. And you
Mm,
have to do that about 3 times a week. And you're young, you got a son, you got family that supports you, which is good. But at the end of the day, you're like, I'm in my 20s. What in the hell just happened?
yeah.
Um, you can't work a normal job. You can do random things, but it really just like messes you up to live in actual, like a normal life, I guess that's what we would call it. So I believe that was very challenging for her, just watching everybody else be able to do things, but still, she was very independent, extremely smart, wanted to
Mm,
be able to do things on her own, but felt the struggle of not being able to because you're tired after dialysis. You get your blood drained for about 3 to 4 hours, and you're tired.
mm.
So that's what I mean when I say being diagnosed, but letting the diagnosis take you over, and
Oh,
then just kind of like losing that motivation to do things that you want to do, but you can't really like fully succeed at it because you're like, all this is brand new to me. What the hell is going on? Um,
so it kind of almost robbed you of the
yeah,
system you knew prior to the diagnosis.
yes,
Wow.
yes. So at that point, I was living with my aunt. We had split up throughout this time, right? She came to live with me and my with the family again, and we were just all together living a beautiful life, right? Being able to help her and being there for my nephew and things like that. Um, and in the meantime, she was going to school. One thing about her, she always wanted to stay in school. Like, I hate school. She always wanted to be a part of it because that person that's always learning something.
Uh-huh.
And you're like, why do you know that?
That's good.
She was
Tell
always learning stuff like this AI stuff. She would have been did her research as soon as she heard about it, and she would have been on it.
me how do
Like,
wow.
very advanced
Yeah.
for the type of person she was. Um, yeah, so that is kind of some of the life we had. But like I said, we did a lot of things together. Like, my friends were her friends in Atlanta, her friends were my friends. And we spent a lot of time together. Whatever she needed, I would break my back to do. And the same. However, she ain't never pay you back. I'm gonna tell you that now. She, you knew if she asked you for something, you wasn't getting it back. I'm like, all right, it's going to take it. It's going to take it. Um, but yeah, so that is some of the life because we'll be on this forever talking about our
Yeah,
10-year life in Atlanta.
I got you. Okay, so it was 10 years.
10 years, yeah.
Wow. And y'all were each other's support system.
Yeah.
So then what happens on the day
Yeah,
that,
so
hey, family, come on over here because I have something for you. Starting off with a go to guide for keeping your minds healthy and strong. This right here is the Bible to mental health. It's your mental health Bible. The name of it is Six Pillars to Power Up Your Mind and Make Mental Health a Lifestyle. Hmm, Everything that you need to know about keeping your minds healthy and strong is in this go to guide. Where you get it from? Well, you get it from awisebrown.com/shop. But in this go-to guide, honey, in this mental health Bible, you know what you're going to find out? You're going to find out the benefits of aromatherapy, and how it can shift your mood. But guess what? You don't have to go any place else to look for your aromatherapy because your girls got you, okay? You can get some aromatherapy here. This is aromatherapy is in this candle. This is called a slice of happiness. It makes me tingle, like literally makes me tingle. A slice of happiness. This is a cruelty free candle with no parabens, no formaldehyde, and no known suspected carcinogenics. Now, you know, you go out here and you find these candles that smell good, but are they good for you? Are they good for your brain? Come on now, get real with yourself. Well, this one smells delicious and it's good for you. Made with essential oils. It's a soy candle. Amazing. Uh, you can burn it or you can just walk by and smell it. Lord have mercy, it's so good. Okay, so that's your candle, your aromatherapy, which raises the dopamine in your brain. That's your natural feel good neurotransmitters in your brain. All right, y'all. And oh, I'm a part of you. You're a part of me. We are a family. We got hoodies now, and these are unisex hoodies, and they wear well, they wash well, and they feel so good. So you can wear them over your clothes, you know what I'm saying, and look dope, or you can wear them as your clothes with nothing under them, which I like to do often. And when you travel everywhere, I mean, every time I wear them, I'm moving around. People are always asking me whether I'm traveling, going to the supermarket. What's that? Who's that? And I'm like, mental health is a lifestyle. Because see, this is on the back. Okay? They come in white and they come in black. I'm like, join the family. Mental health is a lifestyle podcast. So there you go. Family, don't you ever say that I ain't give you nothing. You get all of these things from awisebrown.com/shop. All right? I got your goods. I got you. You don't have to go anyplace else. I'll see you on the other side.
I was at my house
Okay.
and my best friend was with me. She's actually here now in Dallas, but she was with me
Uh-huh.
and I got the call and I knew what the call was about.
Did
Like
you?
one thing about me is I can feel death. I don't know what that's about, but I can just feel it like, okay, this call is about death.
Mm.
So I get the call and I answer. And my nephew was with me too because we were working summer school together. So imagine that. So I get this call and it's my aunt's wife calling. She's like, hey, Key is not responsive. And I'm like, okay. So I get up, put clothes on. It's the middle of the night. It's like 1:30 in the morning, which is probably why my sleep is still bad to this day.
Mm.
Um, I go in my best friend's room and I said, I'm just bawling. I said, girl, you got to get up. You got to take us to the hospital as kid. She said, why? Why? I said, come on, let's go. She puts her clothes on. I swear this probably was all maybe 5 minutes. It was just like boom, boom, boom. My
Man.
nephew was asleep in my living room. I woke him up and come to find out he had got a call from his dad telling him already. So he was already kind of aware, but I said, Nazir, let's go. Okay, we got to go. I don't know what's going on, but I know what's going on. So the drive from Hartford to New Haven is 45 minutes.
Oh,
Somehow we all got to the hospital at the same time. My mom was only about 20 minutes away, but somehow we got there all at the same time.
mm,
And we all walk in together. And we already know now the way hospitals operate is I don't like this, when somebody passes away, they take a long time to prepare you to tell you that this person, if it's traumatic like it was, that this person did not survive, right? Now you got to remember, somebody just had open heart surgery. You did CPR on them too? This don't sound too good. You know what I mean? So they don't tell you right away, but they prepare you slowly. We were at, it probably was like 3 o'clock in the morning. Um, and we're just all there waiting to find out something. Okay. And the doctor, like, this is all such a blur still, but I know the doctor came in, I believe it probably was hours later, to talk to us, and he looked like he just wanted to bawl his eyes out. Like, I had never seen a doctor come and talk to a family like that, like just trying to keep everything in because he's like, I don't know what the hell happened. But my
mm-mm,
sister passed because she was full of blood clots out of nowhere.
Jesus.
Yes. So, but when that happens, like, I believe it was a medication that she was given that she wasn't supposed to have, but my brain is so blurred from everything. I'm like, I don't know, but that probably is it. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. So that is why she passed. So that morning, once my best friend, we're all at the hospital still, and we're like, okay. So my grandmother was also here visiting from Atlanta.
Maybe it's
So after we found out that she's probably, she's on life support at this point. There's no coming back from this. My nephew and my mom leave to go take care of my grandmother because my grandmother couldn't do much for herself at this point. She ain't getting up and cooking breakfast or making coffee, I can tell you that.
mm,
So we get there, she does that, and I'm like, what the fuck? You gonna leave me here?
wow.
My aunt checked into the emergency room for a broken heart. She's downstairs in the ER. I'm like, really? Is this what's happening right now?
So
I'm looking up.
you're the only one that's there.
It's me, my best friend, and my aunt's wife, my other aunt. And then I'm waiting on my father to show up. At this point, my father and my stepmother show up. And pretty much I'm communicating with my mom because at this point the hospital's like, so what are you gonna do? She's not here with us anymore. So we gotta do something. So I'm
Oh,
like, okay. So I have to be the one to make the decision.
no, 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 no.
I told my mother, I'm like, I know my sister. She don't want to come back like this, even if she could come back. She ain't come back this way.
Right. Well, let
You know
me
what I
ask.
mean?
So yeah, Malcolm. So I'm listening to the time line. How old were you then? When now, not her mother, not her father, but her little brother has to make this decision. How
Yeah.
old were you?
I was, I'm 35 now, so I was 32.
Wow,
I was
that's huge.
32.
That's huge.
Um, so yeah, I had to make that decision. And my mother was like kind of stumbling over this decision, but I'm like, this is what we got to do. I was up. I was like, all right, I know what's going on. This is what I'm gonna do. I had to put my big boy pants on
Yes.
because I knew my sister, and she always told me, if I'm all crippled up, I ain't come back. And that's no offense to people, but that's just what I'm saying.
Sure.
So I was like, okay, you know what I mean. So I knew right then and there that I was going to pull this plug on my sister.
Okay.
So we all in there, and we talk to her and say our goodbyes, and then I'm like, all right, come on. Being the one to tell them to pull the plug is probably the hardest, most beautiful thing I have ever done in life.
Oh, talk
Yeah.
about that, please. Talk about that because I get that
So,
it's the hardest, but
yeah,
tell me about the beauty in it.
because you have to let go of something you never wanted to let go of. And you
Yes,
never thought that you would have to let go of it so soon. Even if it was in your mind that, okay, I know my sister can't survive, she may not survive, or she will survive, or there's a possibility that she's going to die before me, right? You know these things, right? Because
logically.
that's what they tell you, you know? And then if you do your research, you know also. And then it's beautiful because you are able to, I guess, not help, but once you do that, you allow somebody to transition to the place that we all trying to get to. So it was it was a weird, beautiful experience, and it was traumatic. Watching my sister take her last breath once they take her off of that machine was just like, is this really happening right now? My aunt's downstairs in the ER checked in. She can't be there for this moment, and I know she wanted to. So I'm just like, and it allowed me to be the big brother that she always looked at me as, also, because I was never really a little brother. I was always a big brother. Um, so yeah, so that happened. And then after that, I was completely lost. If I could have just went and found the nearest bridge, I just would have said, all right, child, this is it for me.
Lord have mercy.
Like when that happened, all I wanted to do was just be with her. I didn't care what anybody said to me. I didn't care what any advice. I wasn't eating. I stopped eating. Food was not a friend of mine. I lost about 10 pounds. Um, I didn't really care about much.
Yeah.
Thank God I had people there for me, but there were times where I was just like, absolutely not. When I
Mm,
tell you I've never been so ready to die up until that moment. It was the oddest thing. Um, so it probably was about a week. I don't even think it was a week when I made the decision. I was like, I'm gonna need a therapist or I'm gonna be dead somewhere. So let me
okay.
talk to somebody. So I looked for a therapist, and the way I chose my therapist was I did a little consultation with this woman,
Okay.
and her words to me were just, in the meantime, before our session, just lean on the people that are closest to you. And I was like, ugh, this is it. This is it.
Okay. That was good for you. That spoke to you.
Oh, it spoke to me so well. Oh
Oh,
my God. So I signed up for therapy, and I was doing therapy every single week,
wow.
paying out of pocket every week, doing therapy. And it was the summertime, and I was working in the school system, so I was off for the summer.
Nice.
So it was a beautiful thing because if
Yeah.
I had to go back to a regular job a few weeks later, I wouldn't have known what to do.
Right.
Okay. And I feel like I left something out. So yeah, I did therapy. I was in a relationship at this point,
Okay.
and I didn't really want to partake in anything. I just wanted everybody to just leave me the hell alone. And
Mm,
then, like, what I was struggling with was suicidal thoughts at this point.
yeah.
Um, After the school system, I realized I couldn't do that anymore because I didn't have patience. I felt like I would be on the news for something. I was like, I gotta get out of here. So I went back. This is all very relative too. I went back to working with animals in an emergency hospital.
Mm,
Make that make sense. And I would be in there like, why the hell did I come back here to beep it, putting animals on life support? This is traumatic. Um, but it was also very helpful, and I'm glad I did that.
oh, good. Tell me why. I think I know, but tell me why. Why do you think that that was helpful? Then what?
Because really it was helpful because I was able to see the behind the scenes work that people put in, right? Because you think, why did this happen to her? Like, what the hell were the people doing in there? But we have to remember at the end of the day, this whole medicine thing is a practice, right? We can't predict anything. So what made me like, I kind of like broke down at work one day. I just left because something critical happened to this animal, and I believe he died, but he was on life support. And just like the whole staff, like the way the staff kicked in to like their work, I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I can kind of let some of this go. This is beautiful. But the beeping will still trigger me because
Yeah.
those were my last moments with her. Beeping.
Yeah.
Um,
But it gave you the behind the scenes to where, you could let maybe some of the anger go, or maybe some of the frustration go, or judgment of
yeah,
what they weren't doing, or what they could have been doing, or she could have been saved, or so it kind of let you see, like, no, 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 they be working their behinds off
yeah,
trying,
they be
and
trying.
God has the last say.
That is it. Yeah. So I stayed working there, and then I would talk to my therapist and go, the beeping is still bothering me, but I always leave. Like I don't stay. Like I would go outside. Everybody at my job knew. See, one thing about me, I'm gonna communicate. You're gonna know what's going on with me in a professional setting. You know, this is what happened. This is what triggers me. This is when I may need to walk outside.
Good.
That's what it is. So I would go outside during those moments and call a friend, bawl my eyes out to a friend, and then go back into work with red eyes. Like, all right, y'all, I'm back. Everybody would know it wasn't a secret. Um,
The
I lost my
triggers.
triggers. Yes.
Yeah. But you said you lost your, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say I lost my train of thought. That's all.
Oh, no, 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 no. I get it. Because you may have just gotten triggered now, just, remembering that.
Uh-huh.
No, I get it. That, that's post-traumatic, because you remembered the trauma then, and that beeping noise. And so, our bodies hold on to trauma.
They should.
So I could see, yeah, when you be in a different circumstance, but that beeping just brings you back to that very moment in your head.
Mm-hmm.
Our mind and our bodies are amazing. Yeah. So then in that moment, yeah, you separated yourself from it. Hopefully, did some breathing,
Yeah.
called a friend to try to change your thoughts and pull you up out of that moment. Wow.
So my therapist told me after I talked to her about it, she was like, okay, now let's try to stay there.
It's good.
I was like, okay. So I went to work. All right, y'all, I gotta try to stay in this.
So good. Ooh, that's so good. Yes, you gotta face that fear.
So
That's right. And
everybody would look at me and be like, he's still here, y'all.
I love it. I love it.
One
That's
thing
right.
about me, I love to feel. Like
Mhm.
I don't know if I'm healing or if I'm progressing if I don't feel anything.
Yes.
So like I wouldn't drink, I wouldn't smoke weed, um, because I wanted to know if I was getting better or not, or
Mhm.
if the books I was reading was working, or if my therapy was working, or if my alone time, what that looked like. Um, yeah, I had stopped drinking because of the suicidal thoughts. And
Uh,
also, like me and alcohol just was not working out, probably because I stopped eating. Um, so I wasn't doing all, any of those things. I would just sit and I went into like a deep depression.
Jesus.
Like me and the couch was my best friend.
Wow.
Okay. I wouldn't go outside. I wouldn't really do much and I would have to go like shopping and do things. So I would force myself to go do those things because I kind of had to. Um, and my boyfriend at the time was 2 hours away. I didn't really want to go visit him. Like I would get triggered on train rides to Harlem. It was really intense. I'd be like, oh my gosh. Like,
You really felt like you was losing your shit.
yes.
And that's normal. Yeah, that's what depression looks like. It's like you just lose all hope. So there's a feeling of hopelessness, right? You can't even see past tomorrow.
Yeah.
You can't even see past this moment. And
No.
then feeling helpless, like even the people around, like I got all these people around. Okay, I got but can't nobody help me. Like I just feel, and I can't even help myself.
Yeah.
I think what is amazing was that you made the decision to not lean on distractors. Because I'm going to tell you, distractors would have held you up and held you in that space even longer. Distractors like the alcohol and the smoking, right? So every time a feeling comes over me that I don't like, let me try to drink it away, let me try to smoke it away. And it distracts you from sitting in that.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to tell you that sitting in it really helped you to move through it faster than now bringing on than putting your energy into just distractors. And so now you'd have another issue because now you have to be trying to overcome addiction and then still stuck in this grief. And yeah, so you did, that was great. That was a great decision
Yeah.
that you. So okay, so tell me this. Wow. Malcolm, that was heavy. Okay, so in what moment or what time, and I'm wondering if, when I met you, like how long do you feel like you were in this depressive state? Tell the truth.
Mm. I would say it was about a year.
Okay, about a year.
Yeah, it was about a year. And then after that, like it was consistent for a while. Like I had to take FMLA for it. That's how deep it was. Like
Mm,
there would be days I just couldn't get up and go to work. Like it was no way my body was gonna move. That just was not working out for me. Um, so it was about a year or so.
I got you. I'm just gonna ask you, at any point, um, when, I've studied grieving and loss, I've done presentations on it, and I know that a lot of times when people are stuck, and I mean, I think that everything that you're going through or you were going through or was in at the time is normal. But what studies show is the people who have the most difficult time or the ones who kind of stay stuck for years and years and years are those who have unfinished business with the deceased. So they have like a lot of regrets. Now, it's normal to have regrets because
Hmm.
everybody's thinking back to, oh, on that moment when I wanted to get off the phone and this
Yeah.
person was talk, I wish I would have stayed on longer, only if I, or oh, one time when she wanted to borrow this money or go to the store and I didn't want to, you start feeling regret. So it's normal to feel regrets. However, what I've learned is people really stay stuck the more regrets they have, and when they feel like they don't have when they have unfinished business, like they were in an argument, right? And or something big, you know what I'm saying? Or they were in conflict with the deceased. So I'm just wondering, while you were in that period of time on the couch, couldn't move, didn't want to go to the store, didn't want to feed yourself for that year, did you feel like you had regrets?
Oh, absolutely. I think my biggest regret was not going through with a kidney transplant. That was my biggest regret.
What
I
do you
had
mean?
so I had did all the testing. We
Oh,
were not. Yeah.
she had asked you for your kidney, one of your kidneys.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Wow.
Yes. So we weren't a match. We found that out, right? But there was a thing you could do. You could swap a kidney. Now, mind you, I'm a little kid. What am I, 21
Yeah.
or 20? I don't
Yeah.
know what I'm doing, you
Of
know?
course not.
So, yes, I'll give you my kidney. Oops, no, we're not a match. And then let me try out this swap thing. And I do all of this major testing. And then I'm like, I don't know what to do. So then I just stopped the whole process, right?
Yeah.
So that is or was one of my biggest regrets, not going forth with that. But then you have to realize
On.
it's going to be what it's going to be either way,
That's right. Absolutely. And
you know?
everything happens just as it's supposed to. And
Absolutely.
and if it was supposed to happen, trust me, it would have been easy.
Yeah.
It would not have been so hard to try to make it work. You got me?
Yeah.
If she was supposed to have your kidney, it would have been a match. It would have been easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how life works. So when it's so hard and we're trying to force something and make it work, and okay, so they have this other thing and they have this other thing, it's like we doing too much
Yeah.
because yeah, God is easy. It's easy. It should be easy. Yeah, so I'm praying that you let that go. Yeah, because
Yeah.
sometimes we get in a place where we feel like we bigger than God. We if I would have only, if I would have only.
No. No, you gotta
That's right.
let that go. You gotta let that go because then you hold on. That'll be on your heart forever. And next thing you know, you the next one that need it.
There you go. And that was not even true, right? It's the story that we're telling ourselves that keep us stuck, that would have kept you stuck. So thank God
Yeah,
you made the choice to let that go and give the
absolutely.
power back to God. Yeah. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
so good. Okay, so now, just you have to just tell us, as we're, bringing it together, about your healing, about your healing. Yeah, because it's a process,
Yeah.
I understand grieving. Grieving, you live with it for your whole life. However, it looks really different. So,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Um, what helped me, this is gonna sound crazy, but a year after that, my grandmother passes. And we're viewing my grandmother's body the day my sister died. Okay? Yes, they died a few days apart. So a year later. So what helped the healing was knowing that they are back together because they were like this. Okay? You couldn't tell my grandmother nothing about Kia. You could, but it didn't matter. And it
Oh,
was the same vice versa. Okay, these two would argue. It was ridiculous. So once my grandmother passed, I was like, somebody's with her,
yeah, she's not alone.
you know, and then somebody's with grandma. So I'm cool over here. I'm good. I'm good now. So my healing looks like that, knowing that they are together.
Uh-huh.
Um, my healing looked like a podcast at
All
that
right.
time.
Okay.
My healing is music. And then
Yeah.
just really getting to know myself more and more each day. It is therapy.
Yes.
Um, to this day, I told you I'm looking for a new one.
Yes.
Um, nothing wrong with the old one. I love her to death, though.
Of course.
Uh,
Of course. Because sometimes we need to change, and that's okay. Ain't
yeah.
nothing wrong with that. Yes.
So yeah, I mean that's pretty much what it looks like. Remembering my sister in every opportunity I can get. So like I'm gonna show you some things. I wear this every day. This is hers. I wear
Okay.
this sometimes because it be catching the hairs on my arm. And then I
Okay.
do little things to remember her. Like she was obsessed with trolls back in the day. So then you'll see me with a troll or something childish, and it just reminds me of her. So that's why I do it. So
Oh,
I make sure she is with me in every setting possible.
oh,
So like now that I have this new job as a flight attendant, she can be with me in the air. We can travel. We can do the things that she never got the opportunity to do. So
ooh, I
that's what it looks
love
like.
it. I love that. Love
Yeah.
that. Love that. Yeah. And so, yeah, so it sounds like you kind of like went through the stages. So, I don't know that you've ever looked this up or your therapist ever told you about the five stages of grief, like
Oh
the grief
yes.
process. Yeah. And this is for anyone who's listening who may be going through this. Everybody's journey through grief is different. There is no body, like there is no one way to go through grieving the loss of a loved one. So it's very individualistic and everybody's journey is different. However, there are these five stages that many, many people, this is research based, have gone through. This was a psychologist named Kubler-Ross, and she coined these phrases years ago. And I just wanted to kind of mention them. So the first one is denial. And let me tell you that they don't come in the specific chronological order, because you can jump back and forth through the different stages. You may not hit every stage, although many people do.
Yeah.
However, I'll just tell you that the goal is acceptance. And that's what came up for me. So I said, let me mention these. So you have denial, and denial is like, this can't be happening to me. Like, oh my gosh. You have anger. Why is this happening to me?
Yeah.
You have bargaining, make this thing go away and I'll do this,
Yeah.
change this could have been a dream. You make it a dream, God, and then I'll do this. And then depression, right, is when you feel hopeless, helpless, maybe even suicidal thoughts within the depression. I don't want to be here anymore. But then
Hmm.
that last stage is acceptance. So the stages can go back. You can go teeter totter within the different stages at
Yeah.
whatever time. But the goal, the healing is in acceptance. And it's not in agreement. It's not, I agree that this should have happened. For some people, they could say that because they could see that their person may have been in pain.
Yeah.
But acceptance looks like accepting that that my person has transitioned, accepting that now I will live this life with my person not here, and honoring my person in whatever way until maybe I see him again, if that's your belief,
Yes.
because I believe that we are spiritual beings just having a human experience. So I truly
Yeah.
do believe we'll meet again. And I wanted to say this: we'll meet our loved ones again. And I wanted to say this also. There was David Kessler. So David Kessler was also a psychologist, and he used to work with Kubler-Ross, who actually coined those 5 stages. And what he found some years later after they separated, when he was doing his own work, his son passed away. And I want to say his son passed away when his son was like 14 years old.
Wow.
So now he's doing this work, right? And his son passes away. And so when he starts to do research, he found another stage. So her stages, you'll see this if you just Google 5 stages of grief, but he comes up with the 6th stage of grief. And the stage that he came up with is meaning, finding meaning in the reason that they live.
Oh
What?
yeah.
Yeah, finding
Absolutely.
meaning, your purpose, and okay, this person was here for this purpose or meaning. And so I find that to be powerful and interesting, so I always try to teach my clients or whoever else that I'm talking to just
Yeah.
about those stages. And then that last one is finding meaning in their life. Yeah. So as we end, I would say this. I love the fact that you're saying, like, yeah, like, I'm in a place of acceptance, and I know that as I'm moving on with my life, yeah, I am a little hopeful, right, about what
Yeah.
my future is, and I bring her with me, right? These little things, I love it because I always see you with those little earrings with that little feather, honey. I always see that, so now I know what. So now I know what it means. I love it. I love it.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, I love it. So you've accepted it. You know that we spiritual, so you can call her in and say she's here. That's amazing. But the question that I want to ask you is
Hmm.
just that last one about that last stage is meaning. So if you could think about it, and I don't know if you have, and I hope this is not putting you on a spot. And if it is, you could say,
Yeah.
no, Andrea, I really don't know. But have you found some meaning
Absolutely.
for her being here?
Absolutely. Okay. Like I wouldn't be
Oh, come
who
on.
I am. First off,
Mm,
like I believe everybody that was a part of my life, some way, somehow, shaped this person here.
mm,
And definitely her. She helped me become an adult, right?
mm.
She taught me a lot of things just about life, finances that I may not or may listen to this day. And then I have a nephew out of this.
Mm.
Like I have a about to be 20-year-old nephew or 21. So like, and then honestly, she brought joy to every single person she met.
Mm.
Like people wanted to be in rooms with me and her. Like,
Mm.
are y'all coming? You bringing your sister? What's up? Or your sister could just come. You ain't even gotta worry.
I love it. I
So
love
like joy and laughter. joy, laughter, my nephew, and like love. She was a ball of love. Like it was ridiculous how much she loved us
Wow.
and family. And like she just wanted us. Like she could care less about anything else. She just wanted her family, and that was that. So she also taught me the true meaning of family growing up too, because when you're in your early 20s, you don't know that. You don't care about that. You're like, get out of here. I don't want y'all around. But she was like, no, we stick together.
That's good.
So
Wow.
yes, so that's her meaning to allow me to do things like this, continue to build relationships because that is one thing I still struggle with. I'd be like, okay, you want to be a friend? I'm blaming that on her. That's her fault. Okay,
That's her fault. Okay.
that's
All
her
right.
fault. Even though she loved people, right? But yeah, that is definitely her meaning. She was a ball of joy. So now I make sure I get the opportunity to talk about her as to where back then I'll be like, I don't want to bring everybody down. But now I'll be like, yep, I got a sister that did this, that did this, that did this. So
Yes.
yeah,
I love it. Well, I would love I would love to honor her. So I want to say rest in peace. What's her name? Kia?
yep.
Yeah, rest in peace, Kia. And I want to say peace to what's your nephew's name?
Nazir.
Oh, Nazia.
Mm-hmm.
So peace to Nazia.
Yeah.
It's close to my favorite rapper's name. You know, my favorite rapper is Nasir Jones.
Nazir.
So I'm never gonna forget your nephew's name,
Yep.
okay? But
Yep.
it's Nazir.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Yeah. And so peace to Nazir.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so thank you, my brother, for joining me and for telling your story. Because I thought you ghosted me, but guess what? It wasn't even a look, Andrea. It wasn't even about you, boo.
Girl, I be struggling. Just like building relationships, I still be struggling. Like I don't know how to get close to people like I did. It's the weirdest thing.
Oh, and you know that trauma, right? Losing your sister could
Yeah.
have affected that because if I get close, then I may lose him. I can't give my heart because then I'll be heartbroken again. I'll be stuck in that dark, dirty place again.
Yes.
However, I got you. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. Because we're gonna accept, yeah, certain
Yeah.
parts of life. It's like facing the beeping. Like it's
Yeah.
going to be okay. I just got to stand in it. And I realize that it will not destroy me. It will pass and I will be okay.
Amen.
And that's the same thing about building relationships,
Yeah.
whether they stay or whether they go. I'm going to stand in it. I will always be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
Well, thank you, my brother. Is there anything else that you want to say before we end?
Um, I know I got something to say. Let me make up something. Let's see. I just want to say to people who are going through, have gone through, or may go through in the future, it's just something that you kind of can't avoid unless you go first. So just remember to keep yourself first. Reach out to help when and if you need help, and just focus on the good, and just try to live life as you want to live it, not as they would want you to, but as you would want to live it first, and then they can somehow join in on the journey. But when you try to live as they wanted you to, then you don't live how you want. So keep that in mind.
That's good. And they meaning who?
The deceased.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, because a lot of people, I'm gonna do this for her. I'm gonna continue this because they wanted me to, and it's like, no, you gotta put yourself first. Still,
That's
you
good.
still gotta put yourself first, so you could
Yeah.
continue, so you could smile and tell the stories. You know?
Ooh, that's so good. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I don't think anything else needs to be said. Thank you. Thank you, my brother Malcolm, for joining me and the family today on the Mental Health is a Lifestyle podcast with your girl, Andrea Wise Brown. And please, family, join us next week for the next episode. I love you all. And I will say it again. I love you too, Malcolm.
I love you too.
It's a friendship. We good. You ain't got to worry about that. We real good. We good.
Look.
Oh, did you
Oh,
see?
that is cute.
That was so good. And I didn't even do that. Okay. Okay. All right, y'all. I will see y'all on the next week. Oh, and for y'all who were just listening, if there was some hearts, Malcolm put a heart. What is it like? I don't know. You made your hands like a heart, and then they just came up on the screen. Just it did it again.
There it
That
is.
makes me so happy.
Yes.
So happy. Okay, love y'all. Okay,
Love
see
y'all.
y'all.
Bye.
If you or someone you know is in crisis, call or text the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline at 988 or chat 988lifeline.org.